So let's talk about adjusting the power that we put on the disc for elevation and wind. Some players do this just based on a feel they've developed over time, and others do some rough math. I'm in the group that does the rough math, so I'll tell you my system that I've developed, and it goes like this. For elevation changes, I use a 1-for-1. So if I think the basket is, let's say, 10 feet higher than my lie, then I will add 10 feet to the power that I put on the throw. If it's 10 feet lower, in my estimation, I will subtract 10 feet. And that seems to work pretty well in the 100 and 150 foot range anyway. It gets different as those numbers increase, but in the range of most throw-ins, that works pretty well. Now, as far as wind, I will pretty much ignore a 1 wind. A 2 wind, I might adjust a little bit for, but really start to think about adjusting for the wind is a 3 or a 4 wind. And if it's a 3 headwind or a very strong crosswind, again in that range of throw-ins, I will just take off 10 feet. If it's a 4 wind, I will take off 15 to 20 feet. And then if it's a 4 wind, I also really my expectations drop as far as when I think I may be successful in making that throw in, particularly on the longer distances. But with the case here, we've got 105 feet to the pin, and that's line of sight. That does not account for any change in elevation. So the game doesn't give you any information on that. You have to guess. And I'm going to guess that this basket is about 10 feet above my lie. So I'm going to add 10 feet to that. So that's 115 feet. But I have a 3 headwind, so I'm going to take off 10 feet. So I'm right back to 105 feet. It just works out in this case. So let's see what that works out. I've got the bottom chevron pretty much right in the middle of the basket, 105 feet with the accurate windbreak fuse. The bottom of this first Wi-Fi band is 100 feet, and I just know that based on experience. Again, that's not available in the game anywhere. And this is approximate. So I want to go maybe a tiny bit more than that, and let's see how it works out. All right, so that was a lot. I understand. I'm going to put some text on the screen here to kind of delineate the rough system that I use. But this is something that is a skill you need to develop. But hopefully with that starting point, just knowing how elevation and wind impacts the power required, you can start to dial that in, and it's just going to take some time. So practice it, and good luck, and we'll see you around the valley.